There's this idea floating around that what doesn't kill you...
Who the f submitted this?
There's this idea floating around that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That surviving a disease leaves you better off. And it seems to make sense because we've all experienced this. When you go through hardship, often you come out more resilient, more ready to face a difficult situation in the future. But it turns out that sometimes what doesn't kill you makes you weaker. So what happens when you get sick?
Alright, first, this is 11 minutes long. I should say no, but I'm curious to know what the f this video is gonna say. But whoever submitted this video, f you.
The machinery of war. Think of yourself as a large country with a sizable army to defend it. You're surrounded by enemies that want to take you
Oh no, my army!
and your energy, your resources. This is a matter of life and death, so your body evolved to be sensitive to damage and to the presence of enemies. Because this means that an invasion might happen at any moment and that it has to act fast. Let's start an invasion and see what happens. The moment your cells notice that something is off, they release an onslaught of signal proteins called cytokines. They're like air raid sirens that activate all sorts of immune cells that then themselves release many more cytokines, amplifying the alarm. Soon, you're flooded with signals that trigger precautions and countermeasures. Mobilization is underway. Your brain activates sickness behavior and reorganizes your body's priorities to defense. The first thing you notice is that your energy level drops and you get sleepy. You feel apathetic, often anxious or down, and you lose your appetite.
Bruh.
Your sensitivity to pain is heightened and you seek out rest. All of this serves to save your energy and reroute it into your immune response.
I'm about to lose my mind.
You become a country under attack, switching into a war economy, because properly activating your immune system is intensely disruptive and draining. Just like war is expensive for a country as industry.
I think, you know what though? Despite the contents of this video, I think this also helps in explaining why, like, a lot of people ask me why I still have so much energy and why am I this way, and like, how could, if you were so sick, how could you stream? It's like, I'm performing at this level 24 hours a day, every day of my life. I'm used to just being exhausted all the time. It's no big deal. It's just like, everybody's like, oh my god, it's the flu. I call it Monday. And lots of drugs. I think this is a good way to explain things, because, you know, to a normal person is functioning normally, and then they get sick, and then it's like the sickness punches them in the face, and they're like, ugh. But you see, I've been punched in the face for years. I get punched every day, so you know, I've developed a layer of skin where it's like, oh, you're punching me, okay. You know, but that's not to say that there isn't, like, illnesses that will knock me off. Like, when I got ligma, like, that shit was like... When I got ligma, I was like, oh, uh-oh. When I got ligma, I was like, oh, God. But it was like having a normal flu to me. Because I'm like, oh, I felt this before. I probably have a flu. But then it was like, nope, just kidding, it's ligma. And I was like, oh, shit. And then I got to a functioning level. Like, I could function at, like, terror threat level, blah, blah, blah. Because I'm used to functioning at that level. That's why my army is shit. Because my army's like, oh, shit, the city's on fire? Well, this is fine. It's fine. It's no big deal. What is Ligma? Guys, I got COVID! Guys, I call Ligma COVID, okay? I got COVID last year. I had COVID for, like, 6-7 months. I got long COVID. What? No way. Guys, I got COVID, okay? I got COVID. I wasn't gonna say anything, but I did. I would call it Ligma. I called it Ligma for months. Because I didn't want people to get freaked out.
You get punched in the face every day. Holy.
Yes, every day. So, yeah. So, when I first got it, I don't know if you guys remember, I was, like, really sick. I took, like, a week or two. I couldn't stream. It was, like, really bad. It was really bad. I ran a fever, which is like, what the fuck? And it was because the only reason why was because I had gotten my plasma, and then my body was like, uh-oh. My doctor ordered plasma to me. Then I was wired because they put me on like heavy dose steroids. I was on IV steroids, and I was like, if you've ever been on IV steroids, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. You feel like you're gonna die, but you also feel like you can like run a marathon, and you also feel like you can crawl on the walls. Yeah, I was on that Solumedrol drip, you know what I mean? They put me on everything. I was on a bunch of shit. I had to go on a bunch of other stuff. It was crazy. It was very disruptive to my normal medical routine. And I was testing positive for multiple months. I think I tested positive for like 7 months. 6-7 months, I think. I'm a freak! And now ligma is back. No, I don't have ligma anymore. I do have the symptoms of ligma. But the doctor said that's normal. I have the symptoms of ligma, but I don't have it anymore. I don't test positive anymore. Finally, after a long time, but I still have like all the symptoms still. It's a virus. But I had to get blasted with a ton of plasma, thankfully. And I'm okay. Well, I'm not okay, but I'm okay. You know what I mean? Yeah, moral of the story, please donate plasma to help people, because if I didn't have plasma, specifically plasma with COVID antibodies, that would have been bad. If you've gotten COVID, please donate plasma. If you've gotten COVID and you have beat COVID, donate plasma, because we need those COVID antibodies. Alternative moral, don't get sick, it sucks. Yeah, that's true. You know what? Just don't get sick. Just think positive. Just think positive and don't get sick. Just don't get sick. It's so easy. Just don't get sick and think positive. Always think positive. Okay? That's the solution. Just think positive. Stop thinking negative all the time. No wonder you're sick. All the negative thinking just poisons the mind and makes you sick. Yeah, you need to manifest healthiness for you. Just manifest healthiness, okay? And then shove a cucumber up your ass.
Switches to building tanks, your immune system demands huge amounts of energy, amino acids.
Holy what? Oh my god. A long time ago, once upon a time, my mom received holy water from a special place in Puerto Rico. Puerto Ricans, y'all know what I'm talking about. The Blessed Mother blessed this holy water. And they instructed my parents to instruct me to in turn take that water and drink it for my salvation, for me to get better. And I said, hell the no. Did it burn? I didn't drink it. They were very upset at me. Are you crazy? Are you nuts? I let them pour it all over me. I was not gonna drink it. They wanted me to, though they got very upset at me because I didn't drink it. However, here's the thing. There was another thing that my mom made me drink. Her family said to her that these special leaves needed to be made into a tea. And she got these leaves, right? My mom got these damn leaves and she made them into a tea, a guarapo tea. And I had to drink it every day to help. I'm just letting you know, I drank that shit and it gave me a horrific allergic reaction. The guarapo, look, I took guarapo and I took vitamins, right? So I'm not really sure what did it to me, but all of a sudden, in like about a week, I got a rash, right? I got a butterfly rash. Think about that. Apparently, there's something that can occur called drug-induced lupus, which I did not know was a thing, but it was. And it can happen. You can get it. And it's not really lupus. It's just a reaction that occurs. And you just get the rash and shit. So, for a time, I had like a lupus scare. And I was like, what the f***? And it turns out it was a damn supplements and leaves. It was never that all along. I went to a dermatologist and everything. I went to a rheumatologist. I went to a gajilliontologists. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of drug-induced shit. I got drug-induced, I went to a rheumatologist. I should have used the damn shungite rock. My mom didn't know. Like, I don't get upset at her because my mom, she's She was like very desperate at the time, and she was very desperate at the time, and she was very like she just wanted to find any. Yeah, I went to a paleontologist too. She just wanted to find a way. She just wanted to fix me. She just wanted to fix me because she was sad because she, you know, I made her sad. She just wanted me to be okay. I did. I hit all the bones. So I'm not mad at her. She's just very desperate and she just wanted to help fix me. And then one day I just told her, I was like, Mom, you can't fix this problem. This is not a fixable problem. At least not yet. There's no fix. I just need to take what I gotta take and I'll be alright. But this is not a problem. This isn't something that... And she was like, what if I did this to you? And I'm like, what the I mean... no one did this to me. It just happens. That's what happens, man. Genetics suck balls. It's not directly your fault. She thinks it's her fault. My mom will she's been going to church as penance because she feels like she did something wrong to me. And I feel bad for her because I tell her she never did anything wrong. It's not your fault. It's nobody's fault. It just happens. Oh yeah, that Catholic guilt, bro. And now it's on me, and I'm like, ah! Alright, I've spoken too much about my family. Never mind, bye.
Microelements to build its weapons. Take fever. It speeds up your metabolism and makes your cells work harder and faster while creating heat that's pretty stressful for many invaders, but it uses up a lot of calories to maintain. Then your immune system begins to clone millions of specialized immune cells to
My body doesn't do this.
respond specifically to the enemy infecting you.
My body doesn't do this!
B cells produce millions of antibodies every second, each requiring
I don't have... My B cells.
hundreds of amino acids to construct. Billions or even trillions of proteins need to be made to refresh the complement system, a minefield inside your blood. Cytokines, the mobilization and information signals, also need constant refreshing. Usually, you acquire your resources
I don't store... my body doesn't store the information. It doesn't memorize this shit.
by eating. But when you're sick, your body slows down your digestion because it needs a lot of energy you can't spare. So it reaches for the easiest source of amino acids and starts breaking down your muscles. All that muscle that you worked so hard for is sacrificed to keep you alive. If you're young and healthy and fit, you'll make up for that quickly once you're better. But if you're old or very young, weak or suffer from chronic illness, this may be way too draining. Your body is literally consuming itself to keep the defense going.
I took a vaccine a long time ago. It was one of the ways they diagnose you. You get a vaccine and then they check you after the vaccine. I made no antibodies. There was no response to the vaccine. No antibody response to the vaccine that I took. It was just they just injected water into my body.
If your whole system is already strained, when you get sick, just keeping your immune responses going can overwhelm your capacities. Your immune system is a
My
jerk.
immune system's on
Our enemies
strike.
too. Your immune system is as dangerous to you as it is to enemies. There's a very fragile balance between the damage caused by an infection and the collateral damage caused by immune cells. One of your first responders are neutrophils.
But thankfully, when you get plasma, you get antibodies through plasma, which is donated and they stay in your body for a specific amount of time. Unfortunately, mine don't last that long because my body's an asshole. So I have to get it every week. But sometimes some people only need it every month, but I need it every fucking week. Please donate plasma.
Imagine crazy aggressive chimps with machine guns.
What the
If a
fuck?
neutrophil encounters enemies, it showers them with chemicals that cut them open, but can also damage civilian cells, especially if the patient is already compromised, for example by smoking. On top of that, the microorganisms that invade you
When your immune system starts attacking itself, that's autoimmune disease. That's the opposite of what I got.
often release chemicals and toxins that can cause significant damage and cell death. So a serious infection often causes many tiny wounds, literally holes in your organs.
That's
As
true.
you can imagine, it's not great to have holes and wounds.
That's true. Oh my god. I'm so glad he said
And
that
so
because
that.
a lot of people think oh yeah, I'm just gonna get sick and that's it, and then I'll get better and that's it. But it's every time you get sick, you're sustaining damage to your organs. Every time.
So a serious infection often causes many tiny wounds.
So like a tiny infection, it will hurt you, but it won't be a lot. But if you keep on getting sick, let's say you get like 10 colds in a year, and then the next year you get like 20 colds, right? Okay, a cold doesn't seem that bad, but the fact that you got like 20 colds, your system already is starting to erode. It's bad. You're getting tiny little holes. And then that means when you get a big infection like pneumonia, or you get a bronchitis, or you get bronchitis or something huge, your body has these tiny little holes, and it's like, oh, check out these tiny little holes. Let me just rip them open.
Wounds, literally holes in your organs. As you can imagine, it's
Oh,
not
I don't think 10 colds is normal. What the I never said 10 colds is normal. Normal for me, though.
great to have holes and wounds in your organs, and your body rushes to close them. Your neutrophils and macrophages help by releasing
I'm just saying that one cold is bad, but it's not. If you continuously keep getting colds, that's bad.
chemicals that signal the body to start
It's like you're hitting a wall over and over again.
repairs, and most of the damage is quickly filled up with regrowing cells. But others are filled with collagen, a sort of fixal organic cement that gives your gooey tissue structural integrity.
Ooh, collagen.
You've seen the result on your skin as scars. A scar is different from the original tissue. It has no functioning cells in it. It's like a sloppily applied cement patch. It can't do what the original
Bro,
tissue
you don't
was
want
doing.
scar
A
tissue in
scar
your
on
lungs. That's
heart
not good.
Makes it beat a tiny bit weaker. A scar on the lungs no longer captures oxygen. A scar on
My lungs are fucked
your liver
up.
makes it a worse filter. And so as you go through life and survive serious disease after
Do you have
serious
scars?
disease,
I have damage in my lungs. That's why my lungs suck balls, and I'm on oxygen all the time.
the functionality of your organs may decrease. The damage is usually small enough not to affect your quality of life, but can be permanent. Okay, this sounds depressing, but there is actually something you can do to avoid a lot of this damage.
Here we go.
And train your immune system. The best way to train your immune system. Your immune system is unique. Everyone has a slightly different immune system that's stronger against some enemies and weaker against others, which makes evolutionary sense, as this protects our species from being wiped out by a
What the f*** are you saying that? What?
single infection. Collectively,
I
the
make
immune
evolutionary sense!
system of the human species is a spectrum. Most people respond well enough to an infection, a few are super responders, and a few don't respond well
Oh
and
no,
die.
that's me.
Some people a few are super responders, and a few don't respond well and die.
Damn, bro, you just said it like that. I would have die.
Some people survive the Black Death, are more resistant to HIV or coronavirus, or even resistant against Ebola. Others are killed easily by the flu, or are highly vulnerable to certain bacterial infections. Where you are on this spectrum is impossible to predict.
God damn it. Fuck me. That's where I am.
And you also respond differently to every possible infection. This is why seemingly very healthy young people died from COVID, while for some elderly people, it was more like a mild flu. The idea that you can weather all sorts of diseases if you never get a cold is wrong. You never know
I
what your
feel
immune system
attacked.
is good at until it's tested. Getting sick is a gamble in life's casino with your health on the line. Always.
It's true.
But there is something you can do.
Oh no.
Hacking one of the best features of your immune system.
What is it?
When you survive a disease, usually you have better defenses against it afterwards. You gain memory cells that are very good at killing the specific enemy you fought that day.
I don't. My memory cells are so bad. I don't have.
So you either don't get the disease again, or the next infection is much milder.
They have Alzheimer's. My memory cells have Alzheimer's.
And you can use an incredible achievement of human ingenuity that taps into this mechanism to prevent damage from disease and train your immune system. Vaccines.
Guys, vaccines are important. Okay, they are. I'm sorry. I believe in vaccines. They may not work for me, but around me, all the people in my life, all vaccinated. You wanna know why? Because they care about me. The people in my life care about... You stop with your K-Kona shit, god damn it! You take that K-Kona shit and you shove it up your ass. The people in my life love me, so they got vaccinated because vaccines don't work on me.
Vaccines basically pretend to be a disease.
You got that 5G, that's right. You know what, maybe if I did have 5G inside of me, I would get good internet service.
And train your defenses to be ready if it ever shows up for real. The goal is to create the same memory cells that you would get after surviving an infection. But if you
listen, I am not a doctor, and I am not here to tell you what to do. If you don't want to get a vaccine, that's up to you. But the people in my life that love me, they get vaccines because they care about me. And I'm not saying that you don't care about me, because I might not ever meet you in person. So it's your discretion. You do what you want to do. Vaccine sounds like a microchip. Microchip my asshole. Stick a microchip in me.
your immune system. Vaccines. Vaccines basically pretend to be a
But
disease.
I invited you to
and
my
train your
birthday
defenses
party.
to be ready if it ever shows up for real. The goal is to create the same memory cells that you would get after surviving an infection.
Are you
But if
vaccinated?
you can feel some side effects, why should you still do it? Nature versus Vaccine Dojo. You have two options to train your immune system: Vaccine Dojo and Nature Dojo. In Vaccine Dojo, you train with paper weapons and learn to defend yourself. Sure, you might get a black eye or a bruise. Sometimes after a vaccine, you get sick for a few days, but that's generally it. No scars, no permanent damage. We discussed vaccine side effects in detail in another video if you want to learn more. On the other hand, getting a disease to become immune means going to a Nature Dojo. In Nature Dojo, you train with real weapons, sharp knives, and swords. Things might still work out, but with way more cuts and wounds. But from time to time, someone will die, be it a kid from measles or an adult from influenza. Nature Dojo is just way more risky. On top of that, the immunity you get from a vaccine is often better than the natural resistance because they're engineered to engage your immune system in a more productive way. Of course, vaccines are not magic, and sometimes they don't protect us as well as we'd like them to. Maybe because an enemy mutates
Oh my god,
too quickly.
I thought she was gonna get hit by the car. I thought she was gonna get hit by the car. I'm like, are they gonna do get hit by the car? She's gonna get isekai.
Like the Omicron coronavirus, or because your specific immune system does not respond well to the vaccine and builds less of a defense. Still, being vaccinated is one of the best tools to train your natural defenses. In the end, if we look at the stunning progress humanity has made in the last century, eventually we may overcome disease for good. But until then, we can do
One
our
day.
best to take care of ourselves and others. Your body and your older self will be grateful to you. Diseases are not the only problem humanity can address if we work together. We believe the same is true for climate change, one of the main
Is this
challenges
an
of our
advertisement?
generation.
Oh, it says advertisement on the end. One day. Whoa. Well, that was nice, even though it made me feel bad. That was nice. That was very informative.